Liberal Yukon MP Brendan Hanley says the new Liberal Party leader is a solid choice. Hanley says Carney can make difficult decisions during even more difficult circumstances. He says that Carney's experience makes him well equipped to help brace the country at a time of political instability.
This is the person for the moment of where we are as a country, particularly under sovereignty threats and terror threats from an increasingly adversarial U.S. government. So I think there was a general feeling that this is the man that we need.
Hanley endorsed Carney in January. Right now, Justin Trudeau is still Prime Minister. Carney will take on the role when he is officially sworn in by Governor General Mary Simon. And Carney will take the reins in an unprecedented political landscape, one where eyes are on the Arctic and Canada's sovereignty. The chair of Yukon's Arctic Security Advisory Council says there's one big difference between Trudeau and Carney when it comes to economic investment in the North.
The one thing I would see about Mark Carney that's a bit different from the past is that Prime Minister Trudeau was very interested in symbolic things, very interested in showing the flag, basically. You know, when the announcement was more important than the thing itself. I think in Mark Carney's case is quite different. I think he's very interested in economic development and unleashing the economic potential of the North as much as possible. And that has good and bad things for the North itself. You know, as long as Northerners are involved through their territorial governments and through their Indigenous organizations, this can actually be a really good thing.
Coates says regardless of which party is in power, there's a lot of work to be done to make Northern Canadian communities equitable with their Southern counterparts. You can listen to the full interview with Ken Coates tomorrow morning on CBC's Yukon Morning. Carney's connection to the Northwest Territories is exciting for some Northerners. Stu McKenzie grew up in Fort Smith, where Carney was born. And while Carney didn't spend much of his childhood in Fort Smith, McKenzie says the experience might still give him a different perspective.
He would be hopefully more sensitive to that. You know, there's born in the territories, grew up in Alberta, so he's more attuned to that feeling of like Western alienation. He seems like someone who, having worked in multiple countries in multinational and also non-corporate finance things, will have a breadth of experience and perspectives. He'll be open to perspectives that aren't just his own or are international that might apply to our situation. So I get the sense that he will look beyond. The biggest thing I see with Carney as his financial experience is that he will look beyond what is immediate and short-serving.
McKenzie says Carney's broad perspective could bring something new to Canadian politics. Whether it'll bring real change for places like Fort Smith is uncertain. But for McKenzie, it's already something worth watching. Beyond politics, McKenzie says Carney's journey is inspiring and shows kids in Fort Smith and other small towns that they can go on to do big things.